Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode in our TNA series in TEW 2020. We are a couple weeks out from our double pay-per-view event, the first ever knockouts only pay-per-view of this era, at least. No turning back. And then, of course, the next night will be Final Resolution. We got a lot of crazy stuff to build up to. Tonight, there's a lot of matches that could potentially bang. I'm kind of hoping for some really good match ratings, honestly, because we have some crazy matches happening here tonight, which we will kind of dive into as things go on. But we're going to open things up in front of 6,398 people at the Bartow Arena in Alabama with a Samoa Joe promo. Our TNA World's Heavyweight Champion comes out to the ring, and he says that he's got Kurt Angle, that he's going to put Kurt Angle to sleep. He's going to make Kurt Angle his bitch, and that at the end of Final Resolution, Samoa Joe will still be the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. And he says some other stuff in there too, but basically that's kind of the summary of it. 95 rating for this segment, very good stuff. Samoa Joe, just very hot promos right now. Gained heat for the storyline going on with Joe and Kurt Angle, improvising well, all that stuff. Joe then has a match, a non-title matchup, where he defeats Rocky Romero in 827 by pinfall to Muscle Buster. Gets a 73 rating, 81 from Joe, 42 from Rocky. But nice way to start off the show. Joe just basically kind of saying, hey, I'm going to kick this guy's ass and then I'm out of here. I'm leaving for the night. But yeah, Joe kind of showing his dominance here. Getting a nice little non-title victory here as he gains momentum ahead of Final Resolution. During the matchup, it does get announced that tonight's main event is going to be a rematch from, I think it was a couple months ago. I think it was like 3 months ago at this point, when Colt Cabana defeated Magnus on Impact to a surprise upset. That they are going to be running the rematch here tonight. As in the main event, it will be Colt Cabana and Magnus one-on-one. We also are going to have a match between Cheerleader Melissa and ODB after Melissa cost ODB the Knockouts Championship at Turning Point. We are going to have them going at it here tonight. And a few other matches happening tonight as well. Backstage. Yeah, I figured this was going to lose heat, but I needed to do this somehow. And I thought this was the best way to do it. Backstage, we see Chris Hero leaving Sierra Daredevil's office. Hero turns around and says, I'm glad you are giving me the opportunity. I'm tired of the games. I'm tired of the comedy bits. I'm tired of all this stuff. I want to punch his flipping face in. I mean, it's one of those censored things. I want to punch his bleepy head in. Even though for some reason I can say bitch. But whatever. And Hero shakes Daredevil's hand and Hero walks away. So it kind of seems like the commentators somehow find out about it. But it does get revealed that it will be Eddie Kingston and Chris Hero one-on-one at Final Resolution. So these two will finally have their one-on-one matchup at that pay-per-view, and we'll have to see how that plays out. We go back to the ring. We see a non-title tag match that sees EC3 and Rockstar Spud. I named him Team Dixie Tag over just because A, I didn't have a better name for him at the time I was trying to do it, and B, I got tired of, because I didn't have them set as a tag team before, so I got tired of going through and like individually putting them in and then figuring out, a tag team they could face and all that kind of stuff. So I just put them as Team Dixie Tag. I'll probably rename it in the future, but EC3 and Rockstar Spud, our current tag team champions, defeat the Bravado Brothers in 756 when Spud pinned Harlem with a tilt-to-world DDT. EC3 head and shoulders above everyone else, to be expected. 52 rating for the match. 59 from EC3, 48 from Spud, 33 from Lance, and 28 from Harlem. Basically just the tag team titles or the tag team champs looking good. They don't really have any contenders right now because a lot of the tag teams are kind of busy with each other right now in TNA. The Wolves and Beer Money are fighting with each other right now. The Guns and Kendrick and London seem to be fighting with each other right now. So, it's kind of one of those things that the tag team champions are just kind of sitting out here waiting for something. But we'll kind of have to see how that ends up playing out. But this gets to 52, which isn't too bad. Then, speaking of the Guns, we have a promo backstage where, we've kind of seen them briefly together in previous times over, but this is kind of one of the first times that they're actually like all four like together as the beautiful people in the Machine Guns are kind of promo together. Where Angelina Love is like, I don't know why the heck Cheerleader Melissa decided to help Velvet out at Turning Point, but we're all for it. Like, we'll watch. We're all for her going after them. We're all for all that stuff over. And plus, you know what? Velvet's too busy to be dealing with all that drama between Melissa and ODB and Madison Rain and all that BS anyway right now. She's too busy. She's got to focus on her opponent at No Turning Back. And Velvet says that she has proven to be she's proven all the critics out there wrong. She's proven all the haters out there wrong. She is the current Knockouts champion, and she will continue to be the Knockouts champion when she defeats Mickie James at Final Resolution. She says that she defeated Mickie James along the way in the Bound for Glory series, and that she is going to do it once again at Final Resolution and start off 2015 as the TNA Knockouts champion. Then it kind of transitions over to the Guns. We're standing there too. And they're still, they're saying that they're not sure why London and Kendrick were sitting there watching their match last week, but that's fine because they can sit there and they can watch a real tag team operate. They can watch a tag team that is the caliber of the Machine Guns operate. And if London and Kendrick could possibly even try to find their former selves, not these pathetic nobodies that they are now, but if they could even try to find their former selves, then maybe, just maybe, they'd be willing to grant them a dream, a rematch, or not a dream match or a rematch, but they'd be willing to grant them a tag team matchup. But they're not sure that London and Kendrick can find the London Kendrick that got the wrestling world excited many years ago. Speaking of London and Kendrick, they go out and they have a tag team matchup after this, which gets a 68 rating. Nice. As London and Kendrick defeat the Briscoes in 11:54 when London pinned Briscoe with a get well soon. 68 rating for the match. Very good stuff there. I knew that the Briscoes would do well. I was a little hesitant about giving them a loss already because they've only had one other match in TNA so far, and that was a match on Explosion. But I figured it would be decent because it was a good back and forth matchup, and they can say, they put up one hell of a fight kind of thing. Mark with a 53, Jay with a 57, London with a 66, and Kendrick with a 48. 68 rating for the match. Very good stuff there, as we kind of see a little bit of, London and Kendrick kind of really focusing on proving themselves against the Briscoes, and maybe they kind of heard what the Guns had to say before they went out for the match. Maybe they heard that they needed to find the London Kendrick of old, so to speak, and so now they're working towards it. They're kind of seeing what ends up happening there. Then we get a brief little interview, which only got a 48. Lost heat for the storyline, but that's fine. As Christy Hemme interviews Serena Deeb about Gail Kim. Deeb says that she's still not sure why Kim has such a beef with her, why she has such hatred towards her just because she lost a match against her. But if she needs to fight her one-on-one again, if she needs to prove herself against Gail Kim and prove that she is someone to look at here in the Knockouts division, that she could be the president of the Knockouts division and possibly the future, then she will do it. 48 rating here. Nothing really too of note. It was kind of just a basic Deeb promo. She's not great at promo stuff, but it was kind of just getting her side over basically. Then we go back to the ring. And in this recent battle between the Beer Money and the Wolves, we have a singles matchup here that sees Davey Richards defeat James Storm in 12:08 by submission with a Kimura. 68 rated for the match, 63 from Richards, and 58 from James Storm. Gains heat for the storyline, good stuff there. Rude and Eddie Edwards are at ringside. But Dave Richards gets the clean victory, so that's not going to make Beer Money too happy, I gotta imagine, because they're sitting there talking about being the better of the two teams and all that kind of stuff, and wanting to get the advantage over them, and then a member of the Wolves goes out and defeats a member of the Beer Money. So we'll have to see what ends up happening with that heading forward. Then, just a basic little 53 rated segment backstage as Christy Hemme is interviewing Roderick Strong. Strong kind of talking about still being the X Division champion, having a tough competitor in Homicide last week, but that he's still going to continue to be the X Division champion. And he says that he doesn't know who he's facing at Final Resolution, but that he's welcome to, he's opening the door up for any and all challengers because he wants to fight the best of the best to prove why he is the X Division champion. Then after that, this did not do as well as I was hoping. Might have been because of Kaz. Because I know Daniels can do good promos, so it might have been because of Kaz. But Bad Influence, they don't come to the ring, actually. They're backstage. They're backstage, and they are talking about... They're like, listen, this whole House of Truth versus Future Shock thing, we don't know why we got dragged into this. We don't know why all of this bullshit decided to or why all of this is happening. Like, we didn't want to be a part of this, but you both, they're talking about both, they're talking to Jay Lethal and Adam Cole both here, because they're kind of the quote-unquote leaders of the groups. He's like, Daniel's like, you both dragged us into this when you cost Kaz here the X Division Championship in his rematch. And we're gonna end this. We don't care if you two want to fight, if your groups want to fight on for the next 1,000 years. Doesn't matter to us. We're done with this. We're gonna take you guys. We're gonna beat the hell out of you guys for what you did. We're gonna get our revenge, and then we're gonna leave. We're gonna leave you guys alone, and we're gonna go do our own thing and get the hell away from you guys because we don't care about you. We want to focus on bigger and better things. We are so far above you that we shouldn't even be getting involved in with you. But because you cost Kaz the X Division Championship, we're going to get our revenge, and then we're going to move on to something else. 59 rating here, not bad. It does get announced that at Final Resolution, it will be Bad Influence versus 2 members of the House of Truth versus 2 members of Future Shock. We're not sure who's representing the House of Truth and Future Shock in those matches yet, but it will be a 3-way tag team matchup at that show. Then after that, I knew this wasn't going to do great because they're both unimportant, but I still wanted to run it anyway because it still made sense storyline-wise. In a poor matchup, Cheerleader Melissa defeats ODB in 6:53 by pinfall and air raid crash. 48 from Melissa, 51 from ODB. Lost heat for the storyline because the match rating was only a 44, but that's fine. I'm okay with it. As Melissa gets a victory over ODB here. So ODB not able to get revenge after Melissa cost her the Knockouts Championship. Melissa getting a victory and looking good. It was only just 7 minutes because this was basically just like a crazy wild brawl. And in fact, the match notes, as you see, it actually was a wild brawl. It was just basically a crazy wild brawl. These two just really wanted, ODB just really wanted to get her hands on Melissa and just, beat her face in basically. And Melissa just tired of the disrespect that she feels like she's been receiving around here. So they had a crazy wild brawl that, was okay. Afterwards, Cheerleader Melissa gets chased off by Madison Rayne. Madison Rayne comes running out after the match, and Melissa bails out of the ring. Not like a full-on like heel running away sprinting thing. She just leaves the ring and just kind of has like kind of a bit of a cocky smile on her face, kind of like, hey, I just kicked her, I just beat her. In due time, I will beat you. Kind of getting revenge on you, kind of thing. As Madison Rayne looks like she's gonna go after Melissa, but then decides otherwise and stops and kind of checks on ODB. Gets 47 here, not bad. So we continue that storyline there. Then this gets to 66, which is kind of surprising. Austin Aries should be doing better promos than this, but whatever. Austin Aries has a quick little promo on D'Angelo Dinero. He says that last week, him and Jeff Hardy did lose to Dinero and Shelton Benjamin, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't prove that De Niro is better than Aries. All it proves is that Aries and Jeff Hardy couldn't get the victory over De Niro and Benjamin. But whenever De Niro is finally ready for that one-on-one battle, he will be waiting for him. So it kind of throws out the challenge in a way there. 56 rating for this. I expected better. I expected better from these two. Especially because they had such a good match in the Bound for Glory series. That's really weird. But in a decent matchup, Adam Cole of Future Shock defeats Rhino of the House of Truth in 11:45 by pinfall to flying crossbody. 56 rating for the match, 55 from Cole, 52 from Rhino. We'll see for the storyline, but we can make that up. But yeah, I'm really kind of disappointed because these two had like a 71 in the Bound for Glory series. So I was kind of hoping for something a little bit better from them, but I don't know. I mean, the only thing that was penalized was the awful gimmick for Rhino, so I don't know. Must just been like an inconsistency thing or something. I don't know. But Adam Cole gets a victory here, as Future Shock get a victory over the House of Truth, kind of getting some retribution, if you will, after I think the House of Truth won the last battle between the two. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Lethal and yeah, I think they did. I can't remember for sure, but the ongoing battle between these two sides continues on, and we'll have to see what happens from there. After that, we get basically a little promo from Jeff Hardy backstage where he says, he's disappointed that he lost last week in that tag match, and that he's, he lost to Abyss at Turning Point, and he's got to figure out. He's got to figure out what he needs to do. He's starting to, he's starting to try to figure out what he needs to do to get bigger victories. He gets the small victories, but he needs those big victories because he wants to get himself back to the TNA World Title, but he can't do it if he can't defeat Abyss and if he can't defeat D'Angelo General and Shelton Benjamin in a tag match. Like he needs to figure out what he needs to do to get back into that point where he can, get back to the TNA World Title. And then this main event gets 70. With a lack of psychology, that's to be expected. As Magnus defeats Colt Cabana in 12:58 by pinfall with the Tormentum, Magnus able to get his quote-unquote revenge on Colt Cabana for the loss a few months back. 72 for Magnus, 65 from Colt Cabana. 70 rating for the match itself. Gained heat for the storyline, which is good to see. But yeah, really good main event here. And, it was a really good back-and-forth match. It's Colt Cabana getting a chance to kind of shine in the main event again, and still looking good in it. So Colt Cabana kind of working his way up the ladder. We'll have to see if he ends up in a big time situation here soon, after being a long running tag team champion. After the match, Magnus and Abyss shows up, and the two attack Colt Cabana until AJ Styles runs out to chase them off and help Cabana out. 72 rating for the segment. And, we see Colt Cabana kind of being helped up to his feet as AJ Styles kind of standing next to him, kind of staring down Magnus and Abyss on the outside to end Impact this week. Get a 75 rating. Let's go. Increase our popularity in 14 regions. Very good stuff there. I will gladly take that. So pretty good show. A lot of interesting stuff. Some of the match ratings didn't go quite as I was hoping, but some of them went pretty well. So I can't complain about that at all. Okay. Flip back over to this. We could try to steal Dean Ambrose from WWE. Holy crap, he won $64,000. But, I mean, to be fair, that, does make sense. Imagine Moxley just showing up in TNA right now. His popularity, he'd be one of the most over people in our company, too. But, I kind of have a big enough roster as it is at this point. So I don't know. Obviously, he would be really great for us, but I don't know. I don't know that I'd want to try to have that battle right now. If anything, I would just throw out like a decent, offer to WWE, but I wouldn't try to go like crazy for it. I want to see real quick here. This one, if I did this, We want higher merchandise. Dude wants a lot of merch sales. Yeah, he'd have a better offer from another company right now. Normally I don't do this on video, but yeah, I can't even offer him 4 years without him doing that. I know it's because he gets the they're offering him the bonus per event too, but I don't know if I want to spend as great as Moxley would be, I don't know that I want to spend the money on him right now. I mean, he is getting an 80 in-ring performance in this match. But I don't know if I want to spend the money on, spend that money right now. Anyway, looking at that aside, we have Explosion. Explosion, like I said, it's kind of going through a different transitional phase. This week I decided to do things a little different on top of what I've been normally doing too. And so the main event, as you see there, Red Dragon versus Super Smash Bros. Was a match between, two sides both being contracted by TNA. But the rest of the matches, I decided to bring in like local workers to kind of test them out against TNA contracted workers and see how they are. We had Crossbones be brought in to, take a loss to Chris Hero. We had Marlene Jackson, who's a game-generated character, take a loss to Santana Garrett. And then we brought in Akam to kind of see where he was, taking a loss to Mike Bennett. And then, you see Bennett self-promotion promo, Garrett self-promotion promo, just kind of some stuff there. We had an Alley Hype video. We had a Chris Hero promo. We had the angle before the main event with the Smash Bros. And the Red Dragon. And then we also had an interesting hype video. He technically was off screen, so he hadn't really made his debut yet. But we get an Olympic kind of hype video happening on Explosion. And people aren't quite sure what to make of it, but it's kind of going over some amateur wrestling history and some, professional, not like this professional wrestling, but like actual wrestling history of stuff. And then the face that some here in 2014 are familiar with appears, and it says, "Coming soon to TNA." That's right, we got Charles Betts, aka Chad Gable. He is here in TNA. He hasn't officially made his on-screen debut yet. I mean, he made his debut kind of in this promo, but he hasn't actually made an on-screen debut yet. But we do have him. He is here in TNA now, and we're gonna have to see kind of how things play out with him, because I have some plans for him. But I need to, he's at his popularity right now is unimportant, so it's gonna be one of those things I'm gonna have to kind of build him up some to get to the plans I want to get to him with. But he's he's here in TNA, and we'll have to kind of see what he ends up doing. Kind of see if he ends up kind of doing whatever here in TNA. We'll have to see. But yeah, I kind of his contract was up with WWE. And I was like, well, I mean, I have some plans for him, so I'm going to try my best, and I was able to get him. So we'll have to see what ends up happening there. But yeah, that was Explosion there. Ratings for the week, 75, 4 million viewers. I don't know if we hit that before yet or not, but maybe we just were over it before. 4,012,000 viewers for this week. NXT get a 56. They had the Decimation defeat the Suffering in the main event, which I feel like is a match that they've run about 4 or 5 times now. The Ascension retained the tag team titles, all that stuff. So good for them. FIP ran their show, got a 63. So Mr. Anderson and Hot Stuff Hernandez defeated Rob Echoes and Dave Bautista. Over on Twitch, we're doing the Anarchy Wrestling Society save, which I need to get back to in a future stream. But we were kind of also looking at the career, because in that world, TNA hired Dave Bautista and he had a run there. So maybe we need to start kind of keeping an eye on the run of Dave Bautista in FIP, because that would be kind of interesting to keep an eye on, because that's the only other promotion he's working for right now. He's 2-1. He's only had tag team matches. He teamed up with Bobby Lashley to defeat Hernandez and Anderson. And then he teamed up with Davey Richards to defeat Mr. Anderson and Brian Kendrick and the team of Spud and Abyss, which is crazy. And then this match he had. So interesting stuff there. And then Bobby Lashley also retained the FIP World title there over Lance Hoyt. ROH happened. Scott Steiner and MVP defeated the Young Bucks. That's a thing that happened in 2014, apparently. Why not? Josh Barnett became the new TV champion in ROH, so that's pretty cool. Pretty cool there, but yeah. WXW and ICW also had shows on this week or on the day, and you know they did some stuff. So there you go. That is TNA for this week. You know, some good stuff that happened. Some good victories. You know, some good matches that happened on the show. Storylines progressing as we get closer and closer to our double pay-per-view weekend, if you will. We are now officially 2 weeks out. We will have 2 more episodes of Impact and Explosion, and then it will be that weekend. So we'll have to see how that all plays out. But thank you all for watching. Definitely appreciate it. Hopefully you are excited to continue to see this series running and see where things go from here. And we will catch you in this series next week for Impact.